Hello and welcome to Postcards 56. I should explain the reason I'm dressed like this is because it's halfway through the night, but I thought I'd do one. So I've got some pretty good stuff actually. But before we go anywhere, please like and subscribe down below. This is the new site with only 12 members, and I can't go back to the old ones because, well, I can't. Facebook, YouTube did for me, so I had to start all over again. Here's a card I got at the sort of transport museum. It is a BMW Isetta, which is a diminutive in Italian, meaning little ISO, and it's an Italian design, and it's a mass-produced car, one of the first post-war, and it dates from about 1955. So there you are. It's not quite a bubble car, I suppose, but there we are. Not too bad. Now, here's something with a bit of history. This is Lady Chesterfield's sleigh, and it's originally Russian. Wouldn't necessarily know that. And it dates from 1810. And she donated it with a unicorn, I suppose that is. Yes. And she donated it to the museum in Hull. More Hull. There you are. So you could jump on there and go off on a Never Never trip. Here's something more down to earth. How's that? Rather special. Rather special. Now, the colour around it is purple, but on the screen it doesn't look the least bit purple. This is the Humber Street Madonna, and it's 15th century silver figure of Virgin and Child, found in 1964, following some excavations. And it's part of the Hull and East Riding Museum, which is where it's housed. I have been there, but I can't remember seeing it, but that's just maybe. This I just don't like. I don't know why I bought it, because I don't like it. This is a sort of a cartoon, isn't it? The burial of an Iron Age noble with his chariot and other grave goods at Wetwang Slack, North Humberside. There we are. You may prefer this. I don't mind what it's of, I just don't like that sort of artistry. But I suppose most people. Then buried in the ground. There we are. And there he is with his cart. And this is Wetwang Slack, North Humberside. The next one is perfectly charming. Unfortunately, it's rather small. The attribution on the back. This is by Walter Goodin, and it's from the Ferrens Art Gallery, which is the main one in Humberside, main one in Hull. I looked here to see if I had anything else about him. Above all the sky, so it's sort of religious. At least 50% of this picture is, after all, the sky and the clouds. But there's actually a little figure. I don't think it'll come out on the screen. Here is actually a little man, possibly out with his dog, I don't know. Probably showing how, against the elements, we are very vulnerable because we are very small, inadequate on occasion, and vulnerable possibly all the time. But I leave that to you in your deeper thoughts. Here's another by the same artist, I'm sure. Yes, Walter Goodin. I think I said Goodwin, but it's not. It's Goodin. Goodin. That's rather nice, isn't it? A rather more becalmed sky. Above all, the sky. That's obviously the name of the series. And his dates are it just says when the exhibition was on, which was in 2009. Well, it might have been a long time ago, but it's still very fine, isn't it? I suppose there's chalky cliffs. Yes, I think so, or just chalky. Oops. There we go. And this is a photograph of where I was, which was in Hull, interrupted by the riots as we were. And there's a Ferrens Gallery and the square there, which is very pleasant. And you'd think you were either in Liverpool or London or somewhere. This is by Zoe Sneed, the photographer, and it's the Queen Victoria Square, and there is a statue. I've got my hand on it. There it is. It's there. It's there at last. There she is. Bless her heart. Queen Victoria. There we are. Okay. There's that. Now this is even more impressive as a postcard. This is the Wilberforce Museum. Look at that. And there's Wilberforce. And well, it's all right. I'm concentrating. I haven't fallen asleep. Well, pollarded tree. This is the sunlight on Wilberforce House. And it's a panoramic view done by Mark Denton. I looked him up, and he's a specialist in panoramas, especially of the Yorkshire coast. And he's very much active still as a photographer. And if you want to contact him, you can do so via Google or whatever. And he's open to commissions and so forth. And this is the outside of the building I went in. And there was a gift shop there and a coffee shop, which I always enjoy. And a little bit of a garden, I think, at the back. Not sure, but I think there was. There we are. Now, this was in the church I visited. I don't visit many churches, but on this occasion I did. I think it was raining. I think you know this bloke. I won't say anything disrespectful, far from it. This is the Easter Story stained glass from Hull Minster. There we are. So we have, I think it's called Raymond, isn't it? And we have the dove also above him, which presumably is for peace and also is able to send a message maybe down to earth. Say it's okay, Jesus. And I hope it is. I didn't get this in Hull, but I got it recently and it's drifted into the collection. Hieronymus Bosch. This is the Adoration of the Kings. Hieronymus Bosch, 1450 to 1516. And he lived in Flanders, best known for his allegorical paintings, usually based on biblical themes, as is this, I'm sure. The imagery of these macabre, hallucinatory blend of reality and unreality, though well understood in his time is now largely incomprehensible. His inventive imagination is evident in some of the details of comparatively straightforward work. That sounds like a contradiction in terms. Let's just read those again. His inventive imagination is evident in some of the details of the comparatively straightforward work. Well, if you can understand that, you're a better man than me, Gunga Din. Looks to me like, yes, there's quite a lot happening here. There's Jesus with his mum, and the three kings have turned up to look at him. Is set down in other contexts. We cannot pretend to understand. This is a Medici card. I've got lots of Medici cards in my collection. Maybe most of them are not as obscure as this. Here we are. Two more to go. This lady, I did a bit of research into this. She's rather fine, isn't she? She looks preoccupied, as if perhaps she's going for an interview for a job. Well, I should think that I don't quite know, but she's sort of formal and yet not. This is a Gerald Brockhurst by the Hills. And his dates were 1890 to 1978. And this was done in 1939. And it is oil on canvas. And Gerald Brockhurst, I've got written here, was from Birmingham. And this is from the Ferrens Gallery in Hull, as I said before. There you are. I think I like her as a postcard, but I think if I had the painting, I think I'd be trading it in for something else. I would give it house room, but that isn't quite the point, is it? It's very patronizing. I wouldn't give it house room, but you know what I mean. I mean, it would either fit in with anything else much, if at all, and wouldn't give me that much pleasure. But yeah, look again. She has a fairly powerful countenance, doesn't she? She might be a solicitor or a barrister. I don't think she's a traffic warden. And last, but not, no, it's not quite last. Penultimate, but not ultimate. This is by the one and only Jacob Epstein. And I've got written on the back, he was a US and UK sculptor, so he moved around in his life. He specialized in bronze and stone, enjoyed many styles and influences. In other words, he didn't block stuff out. He was also a painter, and despite getting heavy criticism, continued to produce work. So there we are. This is Isabel, and this is from the Ferrens Art Gallery in Hull, and it's a bronze. I suppose that's obvious, it's a bronze, isn't it? Rather good, like that. And this is the last one, which I've shown before, but I happen to have it here, so here it is again. It's beautifully dated. Beautifully dated. This is a card from about 1960, I think. And there's a postmark on it that says Liable's postcard rate. And she put a 1.5 pence, that's 1.5D, stamp on it, a Dorothy Wilding, which unfortunately wasn't enough. And so it's got that on it. And she writes, Dear Diane, having a wonderful time. Weather is beautiful. Wish you were here. Lots of love, Joanna. With 4 kisses. There we are. How about that? When's the last time you got a card with 4 kisses? And Joanna, Diane, whom she's writing to, lives in 20 Connaught Road, Heath, Cardiff. So, Diane or Joanna, if you're listening, and I've no way of knowing that you're not, this card was not wasted, and I hope you had a nice holiday. Looks like you did. This has been Postcards 56. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.